Okay. If you're tired of hearing about sexual allegations and accusations, then you're going to go to sleep. You're going to be in a virtual hibernation because that's exactly what we have a lot of nowadays. This time it's Senator Al Franken of Minnesota. He's been accused by a woman by the name of Leeann Tweeden. Now, Leeann Tweeden accompanied him and a group of others on a USO tour back in 2006. She says in preparation for a skit they were going to do, which Al Franken wrote, there was a fake kiss moment. And during that moment, Al Franken groped her, kissed her in a way, forcibly stuck his tongue down her throat, which was not in the script. And then she says on the way back from the USO tour, this picture was taken. Now, this picture is obvious evidence that he grabbed her. She's asleep. She said she didn't even know the picture was taken because she was knocked out, asleep. So now Al Franken's original apology, if you want to call it that, wasn't an apology. It was just a response like, hey, if you remember it that way, hey, like, I'm sorry you remember it that way. I don't remember it that way. And I apologize if I made you feel that way. And he got a lot of criticism for that, so he came back with another apology, which was actually, his first response was not an apology. His second response was an apology, and I'll read portions of it. He says, first and foremost important thing, and if it's the only thing you care to hear, that's fine, is I'm sorry. I respect women. I don't respect men who don't. And the fact that my own actions have given people a good reason to doubt that makes me feel ashamed. Frank doubled down on this claim that he does not remember the rehearsal for the skit in the same way that Tweeden does. But he said Tweeden deserved to be heard. The truth is, what people think of me in light of this is far less important than what people think of women who continue to come forward to tell their stories. They deserve to be heard and believed, and they deserve to know that I am their ally and supporter. I have let them down and am committed to making it up to them. So that was his comment, his response. Ms. Tweeden made a comment of her own in a press conference. She says she forgives Al Franken. She doesn't want him to step down, doesn't feel like it's her place to ask him to step down, and she accepts his apology. But she also goes on to say if Mitch McConnell wants to hold an ethics investigation, well, that's on Mitch McConnell. Do as you will. But as for her, she's good. What pisses me off is the comparisons we always have to hear now. The WhatAboutIsms. You bring up Al Franken, like, Al Franken, that's wrong. You're grabbing a woman on camera while she's asleep. Sleep people can't consent, Al. And somebody goes, well, what about Roy Moore? I'm like, mofo, I already talked about Roy Moore. I'm talking about Stewart. Did he play Stewart? I'm a nice person, and I'm okay, and I love myself, and I hope you love yourself too. We need to do better. Remember that guy from SNL? Well, that was his role. I'm talking about that guy. I'm not talking about Roy Moore. I've talked about Roy Moore. I've talked about Harvey Weinstein. I've talked about Donald Trump. I've talked about Bill Clinton. I've talked about all these people. I've talked about Kevin Spacey. Right now, we're talking about Al Franken. See? This is getting out of control. I don't know who invented whataboutisms, but yeah. You need to reel it in on the whataboutisms. We can't talk about anything. I walked outside today in D.C. and it was a little chilly. And someone says, well, it's a lot colder in New York. I don't live in New York, mofo. I don't care. Right now, I'm telling you about D.C. weather, and you want to talk to me about New York. That is how nonsensical all of this whataboutisms are. Is Al Franken a horrible individual? I don't know. Are we comparing Roy Moore to Al Franken? I hope not. I hope not. Al Franken did a bad thing. part of the problem with Al Franken I have is that he was a comedian. If you elect a comedian, right, who writes jokes, you're going to have this type of thing. He thought he was being funny. He thought he was being a comedian. I take it. That's how I take it. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean I approve of it. But damn it, if you don't want people who do funny, stupid, crazy gags, well, you probably shouldn't be appointing or electing comedians as senators. Let me know what you think about Al Franken and the accusations. And are you tired of the whataboutisms that have been plaguing us every time a story comes out? No one wants to judge a story based on what it is. No one wants to judge an allegation just based on the allegation. Everyone wants to juxtapose it. Oh, and the Star Trek guy, George Takei, he's been accused too. And no, I'm not going to compare Al Franken to George Takei or to Roy Moore or to Kevin Spacey or to Harvey Weinstein.